Okay, here we are. So, I've gone live because I want to try out this different streaming software that I've got, the OBS software. So hopefully I'm going live at the moment and hopefully you can hear me. And I'm also trying out this live format in both landscape and portrait. So hopefully people will be able to pick me up on YouTube Shorts as well as on the regular landscape of YouTube. So let's see how it goes. It's taken me quite a while to set up. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me just check. Bear with me. I'm not so sure it's easy to do it this way. I guess setting it up for the first time takes a little while. So perhaps the next time I do it, next time I set it up, it might be okay. So perhaps the next time I do it. Okay, so it's working, which is really good. So yeah, this stream's going to be a little bit sketchy today. Hopefully you can hear me as well on my mic here. Okay, so let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay and everything's going okay. I hope it is. As you can see, beautiful sunny morning in Ho Chi Minh City. Actually, it's lunchtime already. So beautiful out here. The only problem is at the moment is that it's been super smoggy. So I haven't really gone out and done much videoing at all or filming at all, to be honest. Partly because I've had a problem with my legs. People who follow me regularly will know that I've had a bit of an issue with my lower legs due to a particular antibiotic that I took a couple of weeks ago, a little bit over a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, so I had an adverse reaction to that, unfortunately. So that stopped me from getting around, but it is improving, which is good to know. I was a little bit worried about it, and of course I obviously self-diagnosed online with AI, and it was sort of saying things like, you know, expect a full recovery somewhere between 2 weeks and 6 months, but I'm seeing results already. It looks like the video is lagging a little bit, which is unfortunate. I'm not too sure. Let me know how the video is going in terms of whether it's lagging or not, and the audio. Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit patchy. I'm just watching it on my laptop. It doesn't seem to be working very well at all, does it? I'm not too sure what I should do. I wanted this to... I'm trialing out this, of course, because I want it to come up on YouTube Shorts as well as landscape mode. So let me know in the comments whether you're watching this on YouTube Shorts or just on your regular, I don't know what you call it, landscape mode. Perhaps you're watching it on your laptop or your tablet or on your television. Let me know in the chat just so I can see. I can't see anything at the moment, but it seems to be lagging a little bit. Just give me some feedback on that live chat. So yeah, anyway, as you can see, I'll keep going anyway. I'll keep going so I can review it afterwards and see what the best plan of action is for my live videos. Obviously with live, it's really contingent on how good your internet is. I'm using the internet wirelessly here, so maybe that's a factor as well. But I'm not too far away from our router, so anyway, yeah, as you can see, beautiful day in Saigon, although we've had a lot of smog recently, so I think I'm going to wait until during Tet or after Tet to recommence my vlogging videos, because the air quality is just really bad at the moment. Yeah, I don't really want to go out. Plus, the other thing is that the quality of the video is not so good as well. A lot of the time you'll get a lot of sort of grey images, or you know, the sun in the afternoon, the sun coming through the smog, and so things have that sort of sepia look to them. So yeah, I'm in two minds. Well, actually, I'm not in two minds about it. I'm pretty certain I'm not going to go out and do those vlogging videos until Tet or after Tet this year, unfortunately. So anyway, if you're watching right now live, let me know. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay, and if you can see me okay, and all the rest of it. So just so I know for quality reasons. Yeah, so that's it. Sunny Saigon, beautiful. Typical at the moment, this time of year, to be smoggy, and in the mornings pretty nice, and then in the afternoon it generally deteriorates a little bit, and then once Tet comes along, things will be much better. So let me know in the comments if you've got any questions about Vietnam or my life in Vietnam. Okay, thanks Edward. Cool. All right, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. You can hear me loud and clear. Hope you get well soon. Yeah, thank you for that. I hope so too. I'm seeing improvement every day. Long story short, I had an adverse reaction to the antibiotics. I took only 2 tablets, and then within about 36 hours, I was starting to see these adverse side effects, and I discontinued them straight away. So that's about 2 weeks ago. Still not feeling confident to walk long distances at the moment. I'm okay on the motorbike though, so I've done a few trips around town, in and out of town and stuff like that. So that's encouraging, obviously, because my feet are resting on the pegs and stuff like that. They're not getting fatigued. So that's really good. So the plan is after Tet, so we've got another couple of weeks till Tet, then there's a week of Tet. Sometime after Tet, I hope to get back on the road again and to do some, quite a few videos. I want to go sort of north of Saigon a little bit and go around to Tay Ninh, Da Lat, Nha Trang, and then back down to Vung Tau and back to Saigon. So it'll be a pretty epic trip as the crow flies. Not too far, but it's going to be a roundabout loop. TJ, hi Matt, I'm on my work break when I've come across your live stream. Unfortunately, I need to get back to work. Could you please provide info regarding updates for 2026 live stream? All good in camera. Okay, awesome. Thanks, TJ. Yeah, I decided to go live sort of now because it's around about lunchtime here in Saigon, and I thought it might be able to capture plenty of people on their lunch breaks. But thanks for tuning in, TJ, and thanks for the best wishes. Thanks for that. Yeah, I probably won't provide a hell of a lot of updates today. I just really wanted to get my head around this streaming software that I've never used before, and hopefully it's coming through on sort of the, what do you call it, the shorts, the YouTube shorts feed as well. And the idea behind that is that I can capture the people who sort of use shorts a lot and the people who like the traditional landscape mode. So, yep. Visa, TJ, visa, not too sure what you mean about the visa. Maybe there has been a visa update, has there? I better check the news, all right, and get back to you. Edward, what do you plan to eat for today's lunch? Good question. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I might have to just go downstairs. Downstairs here, I live in a really cool little complex where they have a number of shops nearby, or I might just get on the motorbike. I live pretty close to the local market, so as you can imagine, around the local market, and there's a street here as well that's quite famous for a lot of Hanoi style food as well. So I might go and check that out. I'll see. I'll see how long I'm online for. What's your favorite food in Vietnam? Thanks, TJ. All right. What's your favorite food in Vietnam? That's a really good question, and it's a super tough question to answer. Look, noodles. Maybe we can go by types. Noodles, probably bún bò Huế would be my favorite one. Probably. It would just pip pho for me, but there's so many, I don't know, it's really hard to choose. You know, I mean, when you have a really good banh mi, sometimes it's like, wow, you know, this is my favorite Vietnamese food. Then sometimes you'll have a bún bò Huế and you'll go, wow. But I've got to say, you know, if you have a really, really good bún bò Huế, it's probably the best noodle. I don't know if people agree with that. Edward, local food, best food? Yeah, you're right. Yep. Have lots of local food. You can get some pretty ordinary local food, can't you? Sometimes it's luck of the draw. Yeah, luck of the draw. But, you know, obviously when you come to Vietnam, you're better off going local and, you know, trying out as much as you can, you know. Name 128 what's your thoughts on the overflowing amount of foreigners in Danang? That's a really good question. You know, I discovered Danang a long time ago. I mean, the first time I came to Vietnam was back in 1999. And then I came back 10 years later, around about. So I came here in 2010 to live. And Danang used to be a place you just flew into and then went straight to Hoi An, or maybe even Hue. But if you're familiar with Danang, you'll know that there's all those beachfront properties along there now. Back in 2010, 2011, probably even 2012, 2013, those properties weren't there because the original and main part of the township is where the river is, in the, you know, away from the beach. So I guess they built it there because it was on the river, protection from the elements back in the day. Someone who knows Danang's history might know better than me. So what you used to do back then too, back in 2010, the airport there was this rundown old sort of war era airport, and they've obviously since done it up, but it was a very regional kind of airport then when I used to go to Hoi An back then, you know, 15 years ago. And what you did was, as I said, you got a taxi as soon as possible and got the hell out of Danang and straight to Hoi An. And that beachfront there was super wild. Now, fast forward to 2026. Danang is all the rage now, isn't it? It seems. I haven't been to Danang for a little while, probably a couple of years, I suppose, 2 or 3 years, because I think the last time I went, I used to moonlight. I used to do I used to do mostly writing. Video is really only new for me. So I used to be an editor for a local English language magazine here. And I used to moonlight for Travel and Leisure Asia. I used to do an article for them every now and then. I did 1 or 2 maybe articles for Singapore Airlines, you know, those sort of in-flight magazines. And I was lucky enough a few years ago to stay at the Intercontinental in Danang, you know, on the Somja Peninsula. And it was an epic stay, and it was all covered because I was doing an article for Travel and Leisure Asia. So yeah, I can understand the attraction to Danang for sure, and it's a beautiful town. The beach is epic, and of course you're not that far away from Hoi An, you know, and Hue. So the central part of Vietnam is beautiful, very interesting, lots of history, lots of nature, all that sort of stuff. But for me, it would be the weather. I'm not interested in having to put up with typhoons every year. They get a lot of flooding there, of course, especially at the end of life. You know, for all of Saigon's negative aspects in terms of pollution at this time of year, traffic, people, population, generally we're pretty protected here, apart from the city allegedly sinking. You know, that's an issue that's I suppose is being addressed and needs to be addressed into the future. So it's a very interesting. Oh, I've just lost you guys. I'm going to keep talking. Hopefully I'll come back online. It's a very interesting phenomenon that Danang has become a very popular place. Sorry, I'm just watching the feed here. Apologies for the connection. Unfortunately, it's playing up. Sorry about that. Anyway, I think you can hear me. So what I was saying was interesting phenomenon to see Danang get so popular with people. I guess the thing that Danang offers people new to the country is that it's a bit of best of both worlds, I suppose. So you've got your perhaps you've got sort of more seasonal weather. You've got great food up there. Central food is amazing. Awesome beach. People can live on the beach pretty cheaply. I think you could probably get rent in Danang cheaper than, you know, on the beach in a condo, cheaper than what, you know, we're paying here in Saigon, you know, 7 kilometers out of town or something. So I understand the attraction, but and I've got to admit that probably back about 2018, I think I did a couple of trips up there to Danang. I actually participated in the short course Ironman that they hold up there. I think that was 2019. And around about that time, I was thinking, wow, you know, if I could get a regular job up there or something like that, you know, make a go of perhaps YouTube up there, you know, it'd be a great place to live. But these days I've sort of changed my opinion a little bit, but I'd like to go up there and visit soon. I might do that at some point. So that was a sort of a long roundabout answer. Sorry, I'm trying to monitor this as well with this new software that I'm using. No, they drive up the price of rents for locals. Yeah, I don't know about that, to be honest. Perhaps the... I mean, it makes sense that the rents would go up along the best, you know, the beachfront areas and stuff like that. But I think you'll probably find is that, you know, the rents are being driven up, but they're probably being driven up by locals. So, you know, but I can't really comment on it. I don't have my finger on the pulse with that sort of stuff, and I don't know how many expats there are living up in Danang anyway, you know. So I would argue that in Saigon that they don't do that necessarily. Foreigners don't necessarily drive up the rents too much in places like where I'm living. For the average Vietnamese, yes, this place would be probably too expensive for them to live. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But I've got to say, and don't tell my landlord and don't tell my real estate agent, don't tell them that I'm kind of, you know, mouthing off about this, but my rent hasn't gone up in a long time, you know, so yeah, who knows? I'd like to see some data on whether, you know, people moving in up in Danang are causing prices to go up. I mean, the area I believe where they tend to live is a touristy area anyway, so maybe prices are up anyway. Yeah. I'm starting to see foreigners living in the city side across the bridge because they can't afford... Oh, okay, interesting. All right, that's interesting to know. Okay, cool, thanks for that info. It's probably really nice in there as well, you know, and it probably gives you more of a local feel. You're out of the touristy area. It can't be that pleasant living in the areas where it's tourists all the time. So, oh, that's interesting. Thanks for the info. And many YouTubers creating content slop like Danang, world's cheapest city, and I will never go back to America. Danang is my home. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that stuff. Someone asked me about that the other day, you know, or they said something about my videos. They said, oh, Matt, it's a shame you don't get more views. And, you know, I think, you know, they said, oh, I think the top 10 lists, you know, about Danang or whatever are something that YouTube likes. And he's probably right. But I said to him, you know, if I had to just do top 10 lists and, you know, rental, you know, apartment, what do you call them? Apartment walkthroughs or whatever like that, it'd kill me. My soul would die 1,000 deaths very quickly if I had to resort to, I guess, chasing views to, you know, so that, yeah, chasing views and doing things like why I left my country. I'm never going to go back to my country. Look, I'm not dissing those guys. If they want to do that, that's fine. But creatively, you know, I've got this, even though my videos might not show it, but actually in the rest of my life, I've got this rather creative side to me. And I feel like if I did videos like that, which are clearly they're highly sought after, if I did videos like that constantly, I'm never going to say never, but if I did videos like that constantly, it'd probably kill me inside in terms of creating videos, you know. A lot of people are escaping the cold and want a nice warm beach vacay. Yeah. I mean, Danang's probably a great place for it, isn't it? And I mean, the infrastructure's there as well. You've got really good resorts. You've got beachfront Great food. Great food. I mentioned that earlier. I love Central food. A lot of history. And the international airport. You know, you've got the international airport there, which is you know, just gets direct flights, you know, from all around the world. So it just makes it easy. I get it. I get it. It's quite easy to navigate. Maybe you could call Danang Vietnam-lite. You know, we used to laugh about Singapore being Asia-lite because it's so easy for Westerners to navigate and it's very clean and stuff like that. So perhaps Danang is, maybe I could make a video, Danang, Vietnam-lite or something like that. Bear with me while I look through the chat. I just have to scroll back up. Soon Vietnamese government will ban back-to-back visa border runs. Yeah, I believe Thailand's been doing it, right? So it may become an issue at some point. It may become a bit of a thing. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really in a position to comment about it. Whether that's a good thing or not a good thing, I don't know. I guess it depends on what the government's motivation is. You know, I personally don't necessarily see a problem with people doing sort of border runs going back and forth if it's for, you know, travel reasons and stuff like that. You know, I don't know about for business and, you know, having jobs and stuff like that. I'm in a fortunate position where I don't have to do that sort of stuff. So anyway, I don't want to come across as a visa expert anyway, you know, so which I'm not, you know. Oh yeah, yes. Someone's name 128 EWA. Yes, but many are trying to live there full time on a tourist visa. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I don't agree with that for sure. I mean, a tourist visa is a tourist visa, isn't it? You know. Yeah. Okay, visas. There's a lot of visa stuff. Thank you. Yeah, my live stream's okay. Usually my live streams are a bit more seamless. But I'm dealing with technology today. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, you know. I don't know whether I'm going to use this particular OBS software thing for my future ones. I don't know, you know, we'll see. Also look up Canada, Australia. Look, you don't have to talk to me about rental prices and property values in Australia, you know. Yeah, that's a bit of a issue for me. Great if you own a property. Great, super great if you own a property. If you can ride on the back of soaring property prices. Brisbane has gone through, in Australia, has gone through this massive boom in property prices. So yeah, I mean that's what makes Vietnam so enticing, doesn't it? You know, living expenses and rent and stuff like that. All the basics are reasonably priced for foreigners. I can't talk for Vietnamese people. Obviously, there's a large part of the Vietnamese community that still struggle with things. So, but I've just come back from the Philippines. My wife's Filipino. And Vietnam's on a very good pathway in terms of being able to provide for their citizens at the basic level. I've got a lot of concerns about the Philippines, unfortunately. Beautiful country, super, super beautiful country, lovely people. But my wife and I often talk about, you know, things that are going on there in the Philippines at the moment, and that in many ways Vietnam has overtaken the Philippines, which is really interesting given the, you know, the disparate histories of both, the chasm between the histories of both countries in recent times. You know, recent times, when I say recent times, the past half century. Even groceries, yep. Fun fact, Danang International Airport has a huge amount of Agent Orange there. They claim they've cleaned it up and it's not dangerous anymore. Yeah, I knew that. Well, I mean, that's still their main military base, right? In central Vietnam. Yeah, and of course, is it My Khe Beach? You know, aka China Beach back in the day. That was pretty much where the first US troops landed at the beginning of the war, right? Very, very big war history and obviously strategic location. You know, near the DMZ, right? Not that far from it. So yeah. I think there's also another big site where Agent Orange was used, the Bien Hoa Airport. Yeah, it's still, I think there's still areas around that space. I don't think you can go into that space still. The cleanup is still underway. So yeah, that's a concern, but I think it's being addressed. Who knows what's remaining in Da Nang? I don't know. G'day, mate. G'day, Adam Smith. How are you, mate? Are you on your lunch break? No, it wouldn't be lunch break. Must be nearly knock off, is it? Knock off time. Good to see you in the live. As I've told people who have been here for a while, I'm trying out a new software, so today might be a bit clunky and, for want of a better word, rubbish, but it seems to be going okay. Name 128 EWA. Vietnam is doing better than Philippines economically. In fact, yeah, Vietnam has been donating rice to the Philippines as well. Interestingly, sort of back in the 80s, I think it was the 80s, the Filipinos set up the Rice Institute. Now I'm talking about rice because those of you who are from Southeast Asia, or you're familiar with it, or you have a history with it or whatever, rice, it's the staple. And the Filipinos actually, I believe, were leaders in rice production. There's a Rice Institute there still to this day, I think, where they develop different strains of rice and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, as it happens, Vietnam is now donating rice back, which is incredible. I mean, that's probably a good indicator of the development of Vietnam that doesn't get talked about a lot. You know, people talk about development in travel, development, you know, with all the infrastructure and all that sort of stuff, but perhaps, you know, rice production and farming is a really good indication of just how far Vietnam's come. Yeah, that's it. That's a good one. We need a course refresher for us. I like how you've said older folks. Thanks for that. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I think we're pretty agile though. You know, I'm using a Mac, got my phone. You're watching this through my Osmo Action 5 on my tripod with a 2 meter long cable that I bought the other day. I think I'm going pretty okay. It's never ending though when you do this kind of stuff. And I really like live streaming, but you're sort of at the mercy of changes in tech and the internet, of course. I mean, if your internet's not going very well, You know, if you haven't got a strong internet, it can really ruin your live stream. But this one seems to be going okay at the moment. Edward, I think you shouldn't say or answer questions with a political element if you feel uncomfortable about it. How do you feel about the weather in Vietnam compared to your home country during summer, winter? Yeah, good advice, Edward. I usually don't talk about political stuff. I mean, I'm not very well versed in it anyway, and my channel is primarily about just, you know, the positive things about Vietnam. I don't need to engage in any political talk. I mean, when you're talking about Vietnam, you need to sometimes make reference to the government, you know, about what they're doing and what's happening. But yeah, I'm not interested in stirring the pot or provoking anyone or anything like that. And I'm fully aware of the sensitivities around not only government, but also the Vietnamese people that live here, the Vietnamese people from the different regions of Vietnam, and also the diaspora that lives abroad. They have a very different point of view on things. So I don't even pretend to try and understand and know everything about it. After all, I'm just a foreign guy living here in Vietnam and enjoying it. Weather-wise, I actually really love Saigon's weather. Before I came to Vietnam, I was living in Brisbane in Australia, and it's subtropical. So obviously not as tropical as this, not as much rain as this, but it gets chilly in the winter, believe it or not, in Brisbane. Whereas here, this is our winter. What are we? End of January. This is our winter. You know, I'm standing here in shorts and t-shirt, you know. A couple of weeks ago it was pretty chilly, you know, but we were complaining about it being chilly when we were just wearing a t-shirt and shorts, you know. We weren't rugging up. We didn't have to rug up. So for me, I've always enjoyed tropical weather, and the rain. I love rain. So that's pretty good. So, you know, we have tropical rain here that is unbelievable. I've never seen rain like it. Australia gets some pretty heavy rains, but yeah, Vietnam, Saigon, I can speak for Saigon. Saigon just gets some incredible rain, and we get raindrops that are like, you know, as big as a gumball. It's incredible. How is crime? Did you get your stuff stolen? No, I've been very fortunate over the years, but I've also been careful. I haven't been complacent generally. I may have had one thing stolen years and years ago, maybe a small camera before smartphones became a thing. I had a little Canon digital camera. I think that got stolen or lost. I don't know. I can't remember. But I haven't had anything stolen. I really don't take any more precautions than what I do back in Australia, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know a lot of people these days who have stories about getting stuff nicked. I live in a very secure area though, I've got to admit. We have our management fees here go towards a team of security guys, you know, so they're on to people. If they don't really look that familiar in this area. In terms of travelling around or being in District 1, I just sort of take all the usual precautions. I try not to have my phone out. Look, my phone's old anyway. I mean, don't quote me on this, I shouldn't say this on a live, but if someone nicked it, I probably wouldn't be that disappointed, to be honest. I'd be disappointed if someone took my camera and took my laptop. But by and large, I don't sense any issues with my sort of personal security. Perhaps that's because I'm still a relatively young male. I say relatively young. I'm getting tired of saying old. So I'm probably not an easy target compared to, say, a young female tourist who's wandering around and doesn't know what they're up to, you know. Hello, I'm going to call you Alapi. Is that right? Sorry, Alapi, you've got a really long name there, but I might call you Alapi. Good to see you, yeah. Thanks for joining in. Hoping it'll be nice and warm when I get there. Danang, finally in early March. Well, April, I know for a fact, is super, super hot. So you might actually get some really, really nice weather in March. Yeah. You should be fine. It'll be sort of coming into, if they have a spring, it'll be coming out of their sort of cooler, less sunny period, I guess. And March, I'm expecting should be hot. April is cook. I mentioned earlier in the stream that a few years ago I stayed at the Intercontinental there around on Soncha Peninsula for work. I didn't pay for it, okay? Don't go thinking I'm loaded. And it was in April, and it was my birthday, actually. My birthday's in the middle of the month. So it just coincided. That trip up there coincided with my birthday, and it was absolutely baking, like super hot. And I live here, so I was feeling it. And it's kind of a drier heat up there, I guess because of the ocean and stuff like that. But it was roasting. And actually on that day, I don't know if anyone's into history. I'm not sure if you guys are into history at all, but you know, my videos, I try to, you know, intertwine or add a little bit of history into my videos. And on that particular occasion, I went and checked out the Cham Museum. There's an actual museum there, just over. Is it just over the Dragon Bridge? I'm not too sure. In the away from the beach. One of the well, there's a bunch of bridges there, isn't there? But yeah, the Cham Museum is on the river there, and it was a little bit run down at the time, but really interesting and worth checking out. No aircon though, it was super hot. Adam, mate, how do you deal with the smog? Is it only prevalent during December, January, or is the air quality better during other months? Yeah, I was saying to someone the other day that smog is a deal breaker for me. Like if I, for whatever reason, I had to travel through the smog every day for long periods of time, eventually it would stress me out, wear me down, and I'd have to leave. That's the only real deal breaker for me, and it's very common, as you mentioned here, January, December, and now especially in January, the smog is really bad, and it's quite typical leading up to Tet every year. I'm assuming it's because of manufacturing really kicking into overdrive, deliveries going on everywhere, left, right and centre. Traffic is massive at the moment. There are a lot of, I don't know if tourists make a difference or not, but you know, they may contribute to it with going places and all that sort of stuff, buses and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty bad at the moment. And at the beginning of this live stream, I was talking about the smog and how probably for the next couple of weeks I won't do my usual sort of walking through the streets and alleyways vlogs, because it's just too smoggy at the moment. Plus, this little camera here, probably any camera to be honest, with all the smog, the city just kind of comes up grey anyway, or with that sepia tinge, you know, when the sun's coming through the smog and the clouds. So it visually on video, it's not that nice. So over the next couple of weeks, I think I might just default to some more food videos. So if you guys have got any suggestions on what kind of food you would like to see featured, let me know. Alapi, that answers my hope for warm. Yeah, I expect it'll be hot. You'll be fine. Yep. The fact is 99% of viewers in Vietnam can't live in Vietnam unless they work in Vietnam. Yeah, that's true. Technically, yeah, you need a work permit and a TRC, or you know, you can be on a spousal visa. That's another option. The third option, of course, is if you have a business and you invest. I think the investment required in order to get a TRC, a temporary residence card, is quite high these days. So that's probably not an option for a lot of people. The problem with a spousal visa is that you're not allowed to work. You're not allowed to get a job. That's the downside. Or they're Viet Q. Okay, yeah, that's the other one. That's the fourth one. I think Viet Q can get is it a 5-year visa waiver or something like that? Alapi, perhaps I'll wander over to Dalat for super hot weather or hang out in the surf far too much. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. I'm not too sure how far Danang is to Dalat. It might be a bit of a hike, and it depends on, obviously depends on how long you're here for. So, you know, it might be better to, I know Hue, it gets super hot, super hot, but that could be another option for you. And of course you've got Hoi An, but I don't really know how many kilometers it is. I guess you could fly. If you got the cash, and the, you know, the time, you could easily fly over to Dalat, I suppose. Dalat's beautiful. All right, cool. Okay, so lots of really good questions there. I've just about got to the bottom of the list. Fire away. What time is it? I might stay on for another, it's 11:45 here in the afternoon. I might stay on for another 5 or 10 minutes, depending on what sort of questions come through, what sort of topics come through. Let me know. Let me know if you kind of like this. I guess you'll let me know if you don't like it. Okay, here's another one. Alapi, is there still a particular visa for learning Vietnamese? Ah, good one. Student visa. I imagine there probably is. There probably is a student visa. I don't know about learning Vietnamese though. That's a good question. I might have to look that up. I remember when I lived in Japan for 3 years in the late 90s, early 2000s, and you could get a student visa for learning Japanese back then. So perhaps there's one. Davin, I'll call you Davin X. There's like 54 ethnic groups in the Mekong region, apparently. 54 different ethnic groups throughout Vietnam. I can't tell you how many there are in the Mekong Delta, but majority would be Khmer, and I think there are some Cham. The majority would be Kinh, which is the I guess you can say, the major ethnic group. That's what most people identify themselves as in Vietnam, Kinh. And then there's Khmer, so, and some Cham, I believe, down there. But if you're interested in the ethnic communities and stuff like that, there's a great museum up in Hanoi, and it showcases basically every ethnic community in Vietnam in a brilliant. It's a brilliant museum and parklands, you know, and they've actually built replica homes to show you the types of traditional housing that are in these communities, and it's awesome. It's really, really awesome. I don't really see anyone showcase it on YouTube, but it's well worth a visit. The problem with it is, if there is one, it's just a little bit out of the city centre, you know, so it might take a little while to get there. But when I visited, I rented a motorbike and drove out there easily enough. It's easy to get to. It's just a bit of an undertaking, you know, to get there, but totally recommend it. And I learnt so much about it, and just really beautiful to walk around in the gardens and check out the homes on the stilts and the big thatched, pitched roofs and stuff like that. Amazing. Really, really cool. Yeah, all right. I think, Alapi, if you could reduce the contrast of the light screen image, that might be an improvement. Oh, do you mean, yeah, maybe because it's, I've got the light here. That's a bit of a flaw with the Action 5. I can't really change that on this one, on this camera. And usually I would be facing the other way so that the sun's over there, so the light would come in and shine on my face more. But we had a little bit of an accident with our cabinet last night, so I don't want to show you that part of the room, unfortunately. Yeah. But I'm using my little Osmo Action because the battery life is amazing and it's just so easy to use. I have a little Canon M50. I have a little Canon M50 that I've had for years. Brilliant camera. Not good for vlogging. It's not very stable. You need a what do you call it? A gimbal for it to vlog with, really. Even though it was brought out for vlogging, apparently. But, you know, this is pretty old now. This is getting on. I bought this before COVID, so probably 2018, 2019 I bought this. But this is probably better for a live stream situation. But I have to rig up the mic. See, with this camera, I've got to rig up my mics. With this camera, I've just got my little mic here, a little wireless mic. So, but great camera. I wouldn't mind upgrading this, actually, updating M50. Really recommend it. Easy for hacks like me to use, and great still photos as well. Recommend it. Alapi, and no, you're not old. Chuckle, yeah. Thank you. I need pumping up in that department. I'm feeling a bit old and worn out at the moment, but I'm actually into swimming. I swim a lot. I used to swim a lot. Last year, for whatever reason, I stopped it, but I've got to get back into it. Swimming is my thing. It's great for your mental health, great for your, obviously your physical health and just your overall well-being. It's an awesome sport, and fortunately I'm pretty good at it. You know, I have a history in sort of swimming a lot and stuff like that. So you know, it's very easy for me to pick up. It's like riding a bicycle. You never forget, as long as you've got your technique right. Okay, I can tell you why. One of the reasons I stopped swimming was because my favourite swimming pool in District 4, which is only, it's not even a 10-minute motorbike ride away. They've demolished it. But the good news is they're going to build a whole new precinct with a brand new pool and gym and all that sort of thing. But that could take years. So I can't really hang around and wait for that to be ready. So, you know, I have to travel a bit further to go to a pool that I like. So, yeah. Yeah, this one here, yeah, this is the Osmo Action 5, this camera. So it gives that little bit of a fisheye, doesn't it? You know, it's not really for live streaming, but it has the capability. But it's obviously, as the name suggests, it's for action and it's for sports and stuff like that. Originally, I was going, when I wanted to upgrade my camera last year, I was going to get the DJI Pocket 3. It's that little one. Like it's smaller than that. Like it's not even as long, it's about that. It's probably about 3/4 of my phone in height. And it's got the little gimbal on it. And, you know, there's a few different capabilities. I think there's a zoom as well. You know, minimal zoom anyway, but really good for vlogging and stuff like that. But I just thought it just wouldn't have, and it's not that waterproof. I think it's maybe waterproof. It doesn't like the rain, doesn't like water anyway, I don't know. And I just thought, because I'm going to do a lot of motorbike vlogs and stuff like that, which I did. If you haven't seen my videos from last year, you'll see me on the motorbike down in the Mekong Delta. I just thought I've got to get this camera because it's so much more durable, and I'll be riding in rain and potentially drop it in rivers and stuff like that. So not that I'd be able to see it if I dropped it in a river down in the Mekong. This one just seemed a whole lot more practical. It's been really good. I've loved it. There's only a couple of glitches. There's one major glitch with it that I hope they fix in the new model, but you know, it's a camera for dummies as well. It's very easy to use. Mel Bucks, 1968, just having a nice cold beer back here in Melbourne. Cool. Well, that sounds really good. What kind of beer? You're having a VB? Hey, you're having a VB there. Oh, it must be hot there. It's been really hot. You've had a heat wave. So you're probably having a beer and watching the tennis, is my guess. I'm from Northern Victoria, as it happens, Mel. I'm from Numurkah, Shepparton, north of Shepparton, just up near the Murray there. So yeah, I can picture you now sitting back and having your beer and watching the tennis. All right, I'm going to hang around for another 5 minutes. So keep the questions firing away to help prompt me with what I wanted to talk about. While you're thinking of things to ask, I had a video go viral this week. Kind of weird. Unfortunately, it was on Facebook. So last week, I went along to Win Hue Street, which is in the centre of the city, and I wanted to experience Vietnam, the atmosphere of Vietnam, the Vietnam under-23 football team playing China. So I thought that'd be a good opportunity to document on my channel. The filming of it didn't really turn out how I wanted it to turn out. And I decided not to do like a full-length video. So I decided to do just short videos, and I put them up on YouTube, and they basically went nowhere. And then then I put them up on Instagram, which also puts them up on Facebook as well. And one of them, as we speak, it's on like 550,000 views, but it hasn't changed my life. Hasn't changed my life. I don't feel any different. It's probably good for exposure, I guess. But it just goes to show how different it is on different, you know, how different your content performs on, or your videos perform on different platforms. And also the viewing habits of young Vietnamese. I think most of the people that watched it were like 20 to 25 years old, obviously into their football and super, super proud of Vietnam, even though they lost on that particular night. So that was kind of weird to get so many views and then not feel any much different about it. I would have preferred it on YouTube, of course, because that's the platform that I like, and it generally rewards you if you get some really good views. Alapi, oh, do you have to run the air conditioning all night to sleep? No, actually, when we rent this place. So when I was looking for places to rent, I said to my real estate agent that it has to get the morning sun in the summer when it's in the summer, I guess, when it's really hot. We need the, I don't know. I wanted it spaced so we didn't get the afternoon sun, the afternoon heat. So this is winter. Technically this is winter, and we're 1 o'clock, pretty much 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And as you can probably see, the sun is shining on us now. Excuse me. And that's okay. I've got a fan running just over here. And so the sun's coming in through here, and it'll be here throughout the rest of the day. But during the summer months, the sun at this time of day will be shining on that apartment block over there. It looks like it's shining on that apartment block at the moment, but that's just the way the camera's showing it. But that place, that block over there, cops the heat like nothing else. Meanwhile, we have the shade over here. So I'll just have the window open, fan on. We always have to have a fan at night, but we're not big fans of using the aircon, for obvious reasons. There might be a week of the year, so, August, September or whatever, I think, around about August, September, where it's like, we've got to use the aircon. Might be 1 week or 2 weeks where we use it on and off throughout the night, but we won't have it going all night. And we might have this, there's one here just behind the camera here. We might have this one on in this room briefly just to cool it down a little bit, but by and large, we can get away with the fan. So it's really good. It's got a really nice aspect, this one. And we've got a garden just here as well, as you can see. So that helps a little bit. Carlton Dry, okay, I'm watching tennis. Okay, I'm pretty right. Was 44 here in Melbourne yesterday. I'm originally from Rutherglen. Oh, okay. So my mother's side of the family, they're from Glenrowan. So my nana, she lived in Glenrowan all the way up pretty much until she needed to live with my auntie and her family, and they're in Wangaratta. So I'm familiar with that. Rutherglen, what a great. I thought you might be drinking some wine instead. Maybe that's later, but it's a really good wine region around there. Looking forward to going back actually. My brother and my mum are in Numurkah. So hopefully sometime this year now, I'll get back there, maybe go to the footy, do a bit of a wine tour around or something like that, head over towards Wangaratta. Bright's a nice area, all those places, all those places, yeah. Yeah, I was watching a guy on YouTube the other day who does videos about all those regions. So that was getting me a bit homesick. Alapi, so are you a bit Scottish? Scottish. Well, my family name is Scottish originally. So my father's side down the line were from Scotland. I believe from the lowlands because we're Protestant. I'm not religious at all, but my ancestors from Scotland came over probably, I don't know, 1800s, whenever a lot of people from over there came here. My brother-in-law is actually Scottish. He's often in the chat. But yeah, that's generations ago. And on my mother's side, it's English and Irish. Yeah. All right. Okay, so that's 1 o'clock. I'm pretty hungry. I've got to go and suss out what I'm going to eat. Thanks for being patient with me with this software today. I'm going to have to think about whether I'm going to use it again. I'm not too sure, and whether I really need to use it, because the idea, as I mentioned earlier, was to be able to live stream it to mobile phones in portrait mode and to desktop on landscape mode. So yeah, hopefully that's worked okay. I don't know. All right. Okay. Thanks for joining me. Let me know if you've got any questions about Vietnam and things here. Keep an eye out for my videos. I'm hoping to do a few more soon. And especially after Tet, I hope to be able to bring you some more adventurous videos when I go on my motorbike trip. Alapi, I'm US Irish, 5 generations back. Go eat, good show. Okay, no worries, Alapi. Thanks for joining me. I'll let you guys know in advance next time when I go live, maybe in another week or so. Okay. All right, take care, stay safe. Hopefully see you in the next one. Have a great day. Wherever you are, whether you're drinking beer in the backyard in Melbourne, watching the cricket, or you're in maybe New York, Alapi, New York, US Irish. Enjoy whatever you're doing right now. And I'll see you in the next one, guys.